now it's December 8th, 1492. The areito yesterday got you thinking or reminded you of when the cacique last got married. His bride had been beautiful, but was she actually a bride? So we do know that the areitos were used as an occasion to celebrate caciques' marriages. However, we don't know if this was common, if everybody did this, but it is assumed that it wasn't common for everyone to have an areito when they got married. We also know that the caciques had many wives. I haven't read anywhere if the cacicas were able to marry many men, but we can assume that she also had certain privileges. Oviedo did note the following about the marital relationships that the cacique had with his multiple wives. This is what Oviedo wrote. Porque puesto que los caciques tenían 6 o 7 mujeres, y todas las que más querían tener, una era la más principal, a la que el cacique más quería. Y de quien más caso se hacía, puesto que comiencen todas juntas. There was always one woman out of all the women that the cacique had who was basically the principal wife, or we can even say probably a cacica. And Oviedo was amazed by the following. He says, no había entre ellas reseña ni diferencia, sino toda quietud e igualdad. Pasaban su vida debajo de una cobertura de casa junto a la cama del marido. In other words, he was amazed that they all were together in the same house, all these women. And he continues, lo cual parece cosa imposible, no concedida sino solamente a las gallinas y ovejas. Que con un solo gallo y con un solo carnero, muchas de ellas, sin mostrar celos ni murmuran, se sostienen. And he finalizes by saying, pero entre mujeres es cosa rara, y entre todas las naciones de la generación humana, estas indias y la gente de esta tierra guardan tal costumbre. And he gives the reason why this particular wife might be held in higher esteem. He says, entre las muchas mujeres de un cacique, siempre había una singular que precedía a las otras, por generosa o más querida, sin ultrajar a las demás, ni que ella desestimase, ni mostrarse señorío, ni lo tuviese sobre las otras. In other words, they had a system going on, where even though there were a lot of women, there was one that was preferred, but even then, they respected that she was preferred. La Casas explains that when un cacique, or any male, from what is known, wanted to ask for marriage, he would bring stones. Siba. Siba in itself means stone. That's why sibao, sibao. Siba meaning stone, or o meaning coin. So these stones would be basically like a precious stone. It doesn't specifically say, but these were the stones that they would use to kind of interchange for a wife. So does that mean that Taino women didn't have any other rights? Were they like the Spanish women, that they couldn't do anything once they were married? We know that Taino women were accepted as leaders. It seems that they were pretty much on equal footing with men. There was no reason to idolize them, since they were not being oppressed. They weren't seen as property, unlike the Caribs, who enslaved women. Women, from what was known, could leave a relationship, or in other words, divorce, or leave unwanted alliances and relationships. They could also decide over their own bodies as they practiced abortion. Oviedo notes that the cacicas used naguas that were to their ankles. And to the Spanish horror, indigenous women expressed their sexuality very freely. It did not embarrass them. It wasn't taboo at all. It was expected for men to listen to their main wife and follow her guidance.